Let's talk about the process of casting and working with actors. How do you go about the process of casting, the particular quality you look for in an actor, and if you could use Dune as an example, but also other movies you've made?
Casting is very, very difficult, very stressful for me. It's a moment where you will, and very exciting at the same time. It's because there's a lot of tension because you need to incarnate a character that will bring the words and the life to a character. More important that, in a way, you need to find muses. You need to find people that will trigger ideas inside you, people that will trigger your creativity, and it's so it's like it's a not an easy process. For Dune, it was it was a long process, but very interesting, because what I deeply love is that most of my first choices were available and agreed to jump in the project because of the nature of the project, because of Dune. You know, it's a saga that is a kind of legend, and people were, so it was not difficult to convince people to get on board. Timothée Chalamet was my first choice at the beginning. There was just one Paul Atreides on Earth right now for me, and there was one name on the list, and I met Timothée, and we both agreed spontaneously that we will work together. It was not difficult to convince Timothée. I chose Timothée for several reasons. First of all, he's a phenomenal actor. He's someone that has a lot of depth, someone that is very mature for his age, because Paul Atreides is a whole soul in a young body, and I need it. Timothée has that. First of all, he looks much younger than he is. Sometimes I look in the camera and he looks like 15 years old. It's very impressive how young he looks, and that is maybe 23 or something. So that was very useful, because I had in the eyes something older, and he's already very mature for his age, so that contrast was very important. Also, he has features that for me reminds me of the old school Hollywood movie stars. He's a real movie star. He has that insane charisma. You put Timothée in front of the camera, it's just an explosion. I mean, it's like the camera grabs him. He's super charismatic, and I needed that for Paul. Paul is a young man that at one point will need to rise people, to become a leader. He needs the charisma of a leader, and Timothée totally has that. He in a way. I don't know if maybe he knows it. He's a rock star, and I needed that kind of a charisma, and I needed someone that will be able also to portray the different layers of Paul. Now I could go through the whole cast, but it will take 3 hours, because there's like I had the chance in this project to work with phenomenal actors that were all casted for very specific reason, like Jason Momoa. I will try to go very quickly, but Jason was someone that I chose for his bohemian relationship with adventure and his elegance on screen, and at the same time is a fantastic smile, where we see that insane charisma on the camera, and the way he's like a ballet dancer when he fights. So he portrayed one of the best fighter in the galaxy. So I needed that kind of knighthood kind of elegance and bravado, and at the same time sense of humor. So Jason was a perfect hero. I had the chance to work with Josh Brolin, who is an actor I've worked with in the past, And I don't know why I'm starting to. It will be very long. So I work with Josh Brolin. I wanted to work with Josh Brolin again, since I'm an actor I love is a poet, and he plays a Gurnalik who is a poet fighter, and I knew that, and a crunchy poet. And Josh, as soon as he's on screen, you love him, and even if his character will be grungy, will be a bit raw, there's something I needed that we understand that he's Paul's best friend, and I needed that kind of charisma too, and as an actor that I want to work again and again, because he's just a phenomenal actor. I wanted to work with Oscar Isaac since a long time. Oscar fits totally the description of the Duke Leto. And it's someone that has, again, one of the best actors working today. So it was for me, and I was looking forward to have the chance to work with Oscar, and he agreed to do the Duke. Then there's like Stephen Anderson, who plays a human computer. Okay, in Dune, there's no more computers. The humans are decided to put the machines aside and instead work on their brains, which I think we should do. And the thing is that Stephen, I wanted an actor that will have a lot of intelligence in the eyes, and at the same time will be like a teddy bear. I wanted the spontaneity that we love Stephen, that we want to hug him when we see him on screen. Then I had an actress that I chose spontaneously right away after Timothée, I would say, is Rebecca Ferguson, for many reasons. Rebecca, again, is a great artist, but I needed her to. I needed an actress that will be able to portray the different layers, very complex character to play Lady Jessica. So I had the Charlotte Rampling, who was an actress I wanted to work with in a long time, which is a legend for me. Stellan Skarsgård, that I'm afraid of since the past 25 years, that is one of my favorite actors too. David Dasmashian, that's an old friend of mine. I want David to be part of all my movies because I just deeply love him and the way he creates characters. And Dave Bautista, same thing. I work with Dave on Blade Runner 2049, and I didn't thought of anybody else to play Raban the Beast, who's play. Dave is the sweetest human on earth, but he's so frightening. So I thought it would be perfect for the part. He's an actor that deeply moves me. Chang is an actor that I follow since the movies of Wong Kar-wai in the 90s. Is one of my favorite actors in the world, and I saw him in many movies, and I always deeply moved by his naturalism, and one of the best actors alive today.
How was it working with him, and with actors in general? How do you give notes? How do you direct them? What is your process once you're on set?
But the thing is that there's two things. First, the preparation is very important. All the intellectual work for me needs to be done before shooting. I love, in a perfect world, to make sure that the ideas, that everything is clear in the dialogues, that the scenes are clear from an intellectual point of view, that all those discussions needs to be made in prep. So as I'm doing the preparation of the movie, having meetings with actors, talking with them about the characters, the logic, and to make changes. I'm not afraid to make changes if I feel that an actor has a better idea in prep, and about the dialogues, trim dialogues. Very often things are overwritten, and it's normal, because you have to convey his ideas on a screen, on a page. But when you see an actor, just in his eyes, sometimes things can be conveyed the way. So it's a natural process that I do with actors. Then when all the intellectual part is done, when I'm on set, I try to really focus on the viscerality of the scene, just be in the emotions, directing them through their emotional path, and not to be too cerebral, because I feel that it's in the way of emotions, and I feel that at the end of the day, we are looking at a human being that evolves through a scene, and the impact of that scene on the human, most of the time from an emotional point of view. The ideas will be there because they had been installed in the scene the way I work is I try to give as much space as possible to the actor in some way. I hope that in general, first of all, I love to make sure as much as possible to work in locations that are real, not like in real environments, not CG environments, because I strongly believe that it has an impact on the creative process. And for actors to know that there's a door there, that there's a couch there, that the color of the room, the light, the way the light interact, if there's plants, it's all things that will trigger ideas in imagination. It will create a tension inside them. It will create pressure or the opposite of freedom or something. And me, I'm there to observe, to listen. At the beginning, when on set, I need to be a good listener, to listen to the actor, to see what are his intuitions. Sometimes they bring very bad ideas, and I just discard and I go with. Sometimes they bring better ideas than mine, and then I try to listen and tend to see. It's an equilibrium that I'm trying to reach. Some actors or actresses also have better intuitions. It's normal. It's a process. It's an inspiration. You cannot. It's not a science. It's like something that you have to be sensitive to. You have to. I think a good director is a good listener. And I think that when I direct, the more I'm directing actors, the more I feel that at the beginning there's a window of freedom that you have to allow, because that's where sometimes there's a very poetic idea that can arrive on the day, and that honestly I strongly believe in that. Yeah. So I'm not talking about necessarily improvisation, but I'm talking about space to create. Yeah.